Welcome, everyone. Good afternoon. And welcome to the Live Healthy Miami Gardens Facebook Live weekly health and wellness series, brought to you by the City of Miami Gardens, Live Healthy Miami Gardens. Our goal is to bring our community information and resources to help us make the healthiest choices possible for ourselves as a Miami Gardens community and our families. My name is Nattaliah Earle, the Food Systems Program Manager and Lead Manager for the Food Access, Security, and Justice Initiative for Urban Health Partnerships, a Miami-based nonprofit operating in Broward, Miami-Dade, and Palm Beach counties. And I'm happy to be your host today. The focus of our discussion today will be the impact of food systems and food policy on our communities of Miami Gardens. And today I have with me some wonderful guests who have been working with me through our Go for Healthy Growth initiative for the last couple of years. And I'm really excited to present with them. And I wanted to just introduce a couple of them, well, everyone right now. So I have with me my fellow UHP cohort, Rosalind Ikim, Rose for short. Say hi, Rose.
Hi, everyone. How are you?
Glad to have you joining us, Rose. And
Thank
I
you.
also have with me on our Go for Healthy Growth partner, the resource room, Mary. Mary, you want to say hi to everyone and
Hi,
introduce some of the youth?
hi
Just
everyone.
to say hi.
From the research room, I also have with me today two members from the NAACP Youth Council. We have.
Hi, my name is Brianna.
My name is Marcus. Hello.
We're happy to be here.
My name is Natasha Harris.
Glad to have you all on board. Just to start off, I wanted to show you a little bit more about what, UHP is, who we are, what we represent, and why it matters that we're here, and how we connected policy to be able to have this discussion today with regards to the health of the community. So for urban health partnerships, I'm not sure if you can all see the slides. Is everyone able to see them? I'm not seeing it featured.
Now we can
There
see
we go.
it.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so for Urban Health Partnership, our mission is to invest in our communities by co-designing sustainable change and promoting equity and well-being across the lifespan. And as part of that, I mentioned that I am the lead manager for the Food Access, Security, and Justice Initiative. We have 5 initiatives. And as you can see, we have it focused on healthy streets and public spaces, age-friendly communities for longevity, and in that center, building a culture of health equity, and as part of it, food access, security, and justice. Because of course, without food, we really cannot thrive or prosper. And the idea is to co-design sustainable change and promote equity and well-being across the lifespan. Under the Food Access, Security, and Justice Initiative, our motto is that everyone has a right to local, healthy, and nutritious food. And to that end, we were able to invite, as part of our food or Go for Healthy Growth campaign, which is our focus. We are using food policy and we're using within the food system, using the youth as that we've engaged within the City of Miami Gardens as our target to drive the efforts to make sure that all have access to fresh foods. And you'll notice where it says Florida for Fresh Access, that is a particular campaign which focuses on increasing the amount of funding that goes towards our SNAP EBT, which of course is, or SNAP EBT, which of course is Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program / Electronic Benefits Transfer. And as the youth from the NAACP Miami-Dade chapter, the Youth Council, were able to discuss with us in a meeting that we had recently, they mentioned that it is food stamps. So if you're not familiar with SNAP EBT, it really is food stamps. You see a picture right now of some members of the resource room that worked with us to promote healthy eating within other restaurants. So that's the image you're seeing right now. So within the Go for Healthy Growth campaign, I work with Rose. She is our community liaison. And as part of what she does, she's going to go ahead and explain a little bit about what it is, what it means to be a community liaison, why it is important that we have her represented as part of that community voice for our Go for Healthy Growth efforts, as it relates to food policy and to food access. Go ahead, Rose.
Thank you, Natalia. Hi, everyone, again. My name is Rose, and I work for the City of Miami Gardens as a community liaison. Um, as a community liaison, we are like a bridge between the community and the local representatives and organizations to give people a better understanding about policies or as far as this project, healthy living and nutrition and access to things such as SNAP EBT, as Natalia mentioned. Some of the projects that we've worked on go for healthy growth with the kids at the nutrition at the resource room. Um, we're able to teach the kids about nutrition, what that looks like to them, what it means to them. Even with the kids from the NAACP, as far as policy advocation. In that picture, we were able to meet with David through a gardening project they're doing right now in Miami Gardens, where 100 residents get access to a community garden and they can plant their own garden, making fresh fruits and vegetables. It started last year in October. That was the first round. And now this is the second round, and there's going to be a third round during the summertime. So we've reached each seasonal, whether that fruit or vegetable or herb has changed, we've been able to work within each season. So right now, of course, we're in summer. So by the time the third round comes, it'll be fall. So we have winter, summer, and now fall coming up. Um, Also, with other organizations such as the Resource Room or Flippany, and as you see in the picture as well, Live Healthy Miami Gardens, we're able to bring awareness to the community as far as being able to access fresh and healthy vegetables, and also advocate those policies as far as access to SNAP EBT and also fresh access bucks.
All right. Thank you so much, Rose.
You're welcome.
And just to reiterate a little bit more about what Rose is saying, through our Go for Healthy Growth campaign, our project focuses on Miami-Dade communities, and now we've expanded to certain areas of South Broward as well, because it's the understanding that you should take care of your neighbor as well, and that food and health is not just isolated to one community. But with our focus in our Miami Gardens region, we wanted to leverage these campaign efforts and the previous successes, which we were able to kind of showcase in the pictures before, and our local and some of those local programs to kind of update and strengthen the campaign in terms of taking action and doing outreach and engagement. So it's with the local stakeholders, like you saw in the image, with restaurants, and to also include other businesses so that everyone can work together around healthy nutrition and healthy food access. And that's part of why we were able to pull together to engage with the youth, and specifically within the resource room, because they are so strong on youth and youth development. And we worked with some of the go-getters and from the resource room. In this case, this year, we were able to engage the NAACP Miami-Dade chapter of the Youth Council with our CLs like Rose, our coalition partners. We worked with some elected officials. I can tell you that Rose is being modest. She actually has gone to different events and supported some of the work that the officials are doing as it relates to the improvement of the community. And we work with these engagements through co-design activities so that we can change and adjust some local policies, especially as we're focusing right now on SNAP EBT and appropriations and I know that the youth told me that that's a weird word. And so what we wouldn't call that. Really, it's SNAP EBT funding to help expand the affordability of fresh fruits and vegetables for the community. You can learn a little bit more about it in some links that we'll be able to share a little bit later on. We can move on to the next. I think, did we go too far ahead? Okay. So these are some of the questions last week, Monday, when we went to meet with the youth council. And they were able to go through some of these questions and explain in their own words a lot of what they feel about access and how it has affected them and how the food system has been impacted. And what I'd want to have to share, and I'm not seeing the pictures that I had on here. Okay, so these are some of the things that we went through with them. It's, to explain food access. Why do you think SNAP EBT is important? And how do you think working together on food access will help your community? So what I wanted to start off with then is, even before we go into some of these questions to consider, is to have, because of the work came through the resource room, I'd like to have not Rose, but Mary give us a little bit of a breakdown about what the resource room does and how it impacts the community. And then we can go into a little bit more about, the food access question and the food system question. Mary, you want to go ahead?
Yes. Hello, everyone. Once again, my name is Mary Demps. I am the Community Outreach Director here at the Resource Room. We're a nonprofit located right here in Miami Gardens. We focus on providing free youth programming, specifically after school and summer camp. We also have case management services that focus on truancy, and we are also the home of the Miami-Dade NAACP Youth Council. So what we think the resource room is important in the community because not only do we have these free services for our youth, but we also provide them with resources and tools to empower them and to advocate for the issues that they feel that are very important that are going on in their community. So previously with the Go for Healthy campaign, we have participated in cash mobs at Pretty Healthy and Meet the Veggies. Those are two local healthy restaurants located right here in Miami Gardens. Also last year during our turkey drive, we were able to pass out healthy recipes to the community who were coming through the drive-through. So on that recipe card, it just had different ways to prepare our normal Thanksgiving meals, but in a healthier way. We've also, the youth have also been engaged in their garden at their school at Myrtle Grove K through 8 Center. So at Myrtle Grove, they have a garden there, and we use their garden as a way to introduce healthy eating and nutrition to our youth. So it's been very fun and very engaging, and the Grow for Healthy campaign has been very impactful to our youth. We've done pop-up shops where we gave away plants. We've done, we gave away fresh fruits and veggies. And also with that, we like to let our community know why the importance of eating healthy. So the benefits of eating healthy, we've also included recipes. So we just want to make sure that we're not only exposing our youth to healthier options, but their families and the community as well.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Rose, for bringing that up. I just think that it's really desperately important that our kids know how to eat and they know where their food comes from. And with the work that we've been doing with the resource room, it was clear that the kids were able to go back home and teach their parents a little bit more about the importance of the vitamins and minerals that come from the food that they're actually growing. And they could actually remember and taste what it is to have it without sugar, and in a lot of ways are able to enjoy it even without the addition of sugar, which of course we all know is part of the culprit for some of the illnesses that affect our community specifically. So thank you for that, Rose. Excuse me. Mary, I'm looking at you and calling you Rose. That's what happens with my family. Like, I call my brother my husband's name and my husband my brother's name. So, it's all in love. So thanks so much for that, Mary, and for all the work that you do with the resource room and with the kids. And I'm glad that you're hosting the youth council and that you've actually, been able to increase the work that you're doing and bringing them on board in this initiative. So thank you so much. I think it's you deserve a round of applause for the work that you do. You know how I feel about it.
Thank you so much.
Yes, and now we're ready for the youth. You guys look so great. I'm so happy to have you on board, and it's so fantastic that you were all like fully engaged in our meeting on last week, Monday. I thought it was very impressive because on a Monday evening, first of all, it's a Monday and then it's an evening, and for you all to have been so fully invested in the question of food access and food policy and how it affects you in Miami Gardens was pretty incredible. And so I'm going to be quiet now, and you can tell me a little bit more about your feelings about the topic, and you can answer some of the questions, and I can pose, any one of you could feel free to answer. Natasha, I know you're ready to go, so you just let me know who wants to take it. I'll go ahead and ask. So, in your own words, talk to me about food access and how you feel about the ability to access food within your community in Miami Gardens.
Yep, so I can start. So I'll just start by introducing myself. My name is Natasha Harris, and I'm the president of the NAACP Youth Council. So about food access, something that we discussed during our Monday meeting when you were here and you came to speak to us in the Youth Council about food access, is that basically food access is having access to food, and not just food, but healthy food. And that includes, fresh food like vegetables and fruits, and that access being within the community and near the community. So that might mean, having access to a grocery store, to a healthy restaurant that is, on the same street where we can walk to that restaurant or that grocery store, rather than it being, far or difficult to access. So a part of food access is easy access, having access to healthy food. And another part of it is affordability. So having access to healthy food that is, affordable for families.
Awesome. That is exactly what it is. And if did anyone want to add to that? It seems like she said it all, but there's always room to be able to expand what that means. And it's really great to hear hear you say that, Natasha. And thank you so much for that great explanation of it. Go ahead. Anyone
Yeah,
else?
I was just gonna agree with her what she said. Um, Food access is having the affordable, healthy, edible food within your like location or region. Um, yeah, that's it.
All right, great job. Go ahead.
Um, I think it's really important because, like, even in my, or especially in my community, there are a lot of people that I know that use food stamps and that really have an actual need for food stamps. Um, and when you have food stamps, you can focus your money on other needs, like medical needs and stuff. Um, and I also think that, like, it's not only important to have food, but I feel like people need to understand the difference between edible and food that actually is nutritional.
Absolutely. That was fantastic. So it's important that we're able to show that it's, there's food or what's been labeled as food, and then there's real food. And I really appreciate that you've made that distinction, because it truly is one of those situations where, the what the adults have chosen and to label as food is not necessarily the best thing for our bodies. And it's good that you recognize that even though you might have choices, the choices may not be the best choice. And again, I wanted to say thank you for your response and answer to that question. So that leads us to the second question about why you think that Snappy BT is important. Yes. Why do you think food stamps are important to you? Sort of leaned into that answer, but I wanted you to go ahead and articulate that some more for everyone. That's for you, for the youth. Who wants to take it?
I think it's important because, like, a lot of minorities or people of color, um, LGBTQ people, you know minorities. Um, I feel like there are a lot of disadvantages that you know minorities have, and like that's why they're minorities. But um, food stamps is usually used by minorities, and I feel like having access to food stamps kind of makes up for the things that minorities have gone through in the past, where they didn't have as much accessibility as you know not minorities.
To add to what she's saying, I also think that I think you said earlier, having food stamps allows you to spend your income, what you're making, on other things that may be important that you may not have as much money for. So food stamps could definitely be very helpful, and then also having those healthy options, just instead of getting like frozen foods and everything, you're able to purchase more foods that are nutritional and are healthy for your body that will help you in the long term. So yes, food stamps are are needed, and not only are they needed, we also need healthier options to use those food stamps on.
I also wanted to add onto what she said. Um, so just to clarify a little bit, not only does food stamps help minority communities, but the entire community here in Miami Gardens and just Miami in general. So, food stamps, SNAP EBT is important because, especially for people that are lower income, it's a supplement to help, with affording food. I mean, food is the most basic necessity. And if, that's something that people cannot afford, having access to that is really important. It's something that we should be able to provide. So, having access to that, like just as an example, my grandmother, she's retired, but she's lower income. So she uses food stamps and that actually assists her with, getting some of her basic necessities. That way that she can continue to support herself. So SNAP EBT is just a way of helping people have access to healthy food. So that they can continue to support themselves and to support the community, basically.
Yes, I love that. It relieves the burden on the rest of the community too. So it's not just that it helps the individual, but it also helps the community. And another way that you mentioned, if someone is able to take care of themselves, then the community benefits. But it also means that they will be able to put money into the community too. They'll be able to spend the money that they would have normally spent on food potentially on other activities within the community that support the community. So I just love the way that you have said that. These are things that didn't necessarily come up in our meeting initially, and so I really appreciate that has come up for in even just this discussion. So thank you for that. Um, this was one of the previous iterations of our presentation with Facebook Live. I wanted to share the pictures that we took. It was quite a few of the youth. I didn't have this in the previous slides. I wanted to make sure I showed that, kind of show you just how engaged they all were and just how many of them there were. And once again, just thank you for being present and being a part of that. So thank you to the Miami-Dade NAACP Youth Council. Thank you, President Natasha, for joining us here. And thank you to the resource room. So these are some of the topics that we focused on and covered. It was about advocacy. It was about nutrition and chronic disease, how much it affects us. And, we're really discussing the ways that we can, the benefits of coming together. And so that was our last question. It is, how do you think working together on food access helps your community? And I think we went over some of that just now. And I wouldn't mind closing it out a little bit with I can't see if everyone's present or not, so I didn't not sure if I'm still even live, but I'll go ahead. How do you think working together on food access helps your community? I think we just about covered that. And it's really just about saying thank you to everyone for joining us for this discussion, this important topic of the impact of food access and within the food system and on food policy in our community of Miami Gardens. Join us again. We'll be happy to be able to come in as host, and I'd love to be able to invite the Youth Council once again. Our next focus is still going to be on food policy specifically and about appropriations as it relates to getting some funding into the program for SNAP EBT within the city of Miami Gardens. Thank you for joining us. If you do have any questions, you will be able to contact us. We'll share that with the team here at Live Healthy Miami Gardens. Thanks again, Miami Gardens. And thank you, the public, for joining us for this session. I'd love to have you all say goodbye. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye, Rose. Thank you.